monthly as of February 2016, but now down to 14.4 billion naira, saving an average of about 1.1 billion naira monthly. Speaking on the welfare of the recently released 21 Chibok girls, Malan Garbashehu said they are being treated as abductees of the federal government, but revealed that there is a lot of local and international interest in the girls' future. On the agricultural programs of the administration, Garbashehu said there has been a huge boom in the rural economy, with farmers getting value for their output. More than 350 abductees have been rescued by the Nigerian military during counter-insurgency operations in the Sambisa forest. Gumsu Bukar reports that the free abductees were evacuated from Goniri in Yobe State, where they were held for 3 years and brought to Maiduguri by the military.
The 354 people rescued by 23 Battalion of the Nigerian Army mainly comprise women and children. Captured in Damboa, they have been in captivity for 3 years now until their rescue by the military. Among these unfortunate abductees are Neima and Amina, who were kidnapped from Jigawa and Kano states by the insurgents. Amina, who is a married woman kidnapped by her husband's friends in Dusi, was forced to again marry Boko Haram member with whom she has 2 children, when Neima, who was not married, was forced to also marry one of the insurgents having a child now. Handing over the abductees to member representing Damboa at the State Assembly, Executive Secretary Sema Satomi Ahmed said, government will do everything possible to see that their health care needs are attended to and other social basic amenities. Already, the abductees were presented with relief materials to cushion the effect of their hardship in the hands of the insurgents.
We will at least organize a return package for them before handing them over to the local government committee.
The abductees held for 3 years in the hands of the insurgents were from Ajigun, Talala, Kafa and Zandia villages of the Damboa local government. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
And the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has commended officers and men of the 105 Composite Group, Maiduguri, for winning the war against terrorism. He gave the commendation while celebrating Christmas with the officers and men in Maiduguri. Amina Fidi Amadu completes the report.
Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, who was supposed to be part of the Christmas celebration with officers and men of 105 Composite Group, could not make it due to poor visibility of the weather, but was represented by the Commander 105 Composite Group, Nigeria Air Force Maiduguri, Air Commodore Charles Owo, who expressed gratitude to the officers and men for their determination in ensuring Operation Rescue Final is a success.
It was specifically grateful that we have gone this far, up to the extent of taking out Ground Zero, which we call Chairman's Location, which is the stronghold of the Boko Haram.
The Commander 105 Composite Group urged the men not to relent and ensure that remnants of Boko Haram are flushed out, as well as commended their families for the support and understanding, assuring that victory is theirs. In Maiduguri, Amina Fidi Ahmadu, NTA News.
And in a related development, the Nigerian military has been commended over its recent success in the fight against insurgency by taking control of the Sambisa forest. Former military President General Ibrahim Babangida, in a statement, expressed delight over the successful operation of the military and saluted the courage and determination of all the security operatives for their sacrifice. General Babangida, while reaffirming his earlier stand that President Muhammadu Buhari and the military are capable of crushing all those challenging the territorial integrity of Nigeria, also paid tribute to all the fallen heroes for paying the supreme price. The former military president urged the military to unveil a new strategy to defeat pockets of insurgency and other security threats in the country. And residents of Maiduguri have commended President Muhammadu Buhari and the Nigerian military for their efforts in counter-insurgency operations taking place in the northeast, thereby restoring significant peace to the sub-region. Maimuna Garba takes a look at the reactions of residents of Maiduguri over the military fate.
It is a known fact that citizens of Borno and indeed the Northeast region will ever remain grateful to the President and indeed the Nigerian Army, who in the last 1.5 years have been putting in their gallantry efforts to rid the zone of terror activities. The counter-insurgency war, which reached its climax with the final push to clear all Boko Haram terrorists from their hideouts, tagged Operation Rescue Final, has led a huge success in clearing and dominating what observers called Boko Haram last enclave in the dreaded Sambisa forest, Camp Zero.
This shows that there is political will in the country, the leadership is determined. Also, there is a commitment and patriotism of our military, and the support our local population have given to the military is wonderful.
Things have started changing. People are moving to places of their businesses and all these things. And we are very happy that they have now captured Zambeza.
They are celebrating Christmas and everybody is going about his normal business. This is one of the best, and we have never recorded for the past 4 or 6 years.
We feel better secured now. I think we are assured for the future. As you can see, we are going about doing our normal businesses without let or hindrance.
This extraordinary feat by the military will no doubt remain indelible as significant peace has been restored to Borno State and the entire Northeast sub-region, apparently with the return of social and commercial activities have picked up everywhere. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
And still on counter-insurgency, Commander Operation Lafia Dole, Major General Leo Irabo says 1,240 suspected Boko Haram terrorists are now in their custody, aftermath of the Sambisa forest clear-out. Major General Leo Irabo said these while briefing newsmen in Maiduguri, Borno State. He said the patrol team destroyed the Boko Haram Camp Zero and captured several equipment. Major Irabo added that with this development, they have won the war, but still needed to win the peace.
Every one of us will have a role to play. Our collective destiny lies right in our hands. The support that I was talking about is part and parcel of that role that you have to play. You, as information managers, need to give accurate information to the citizens. You need to sensitize the citizens for them to know what their role is, what their responsibilities are with respect to issues of peace and security.
Governors in the Northwest Zone have restated their resolve towards ensuring the socio-economic development of the area by keying into the policies and programs of the federal government, especially in the agricultural sector. Chairman of the forum and Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari said that these at the end of a meeting in Kaduna. Tina Turu completes the report.
In this session, government at all levels are mapping out modalities towards improving the economy, hence the meeting by governors of the Northwest Zone with a view to brainstorming and re-strategizing on how best to move the zone forward in terms of economic prosperity and addressing security challenges bedeviling the zone. Chairman of the forum and Governor of Katsina State, Aminu Masari, noted that the governors will key into the programs and policies of the federal government and will continue to collaborate with security agencies to fight cattle rustling.
We discussed about the issue of taking advantage of the policies of the federal government in the area of agriculture in particular, and the state are mobilized towards taking full advantage of the program by the federal government. The cattle rustling has been really reduced to the barest minimum now, and we're working together with the law enforcement agencies to make sure that the issue of cattle rustling is addressed once and for all.
Governors of Kebbi, Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, Jigawa states, as well as deputy governors of Kaduna and Kano states, attended the meeting. In Kaduna, Tina Turu, NTA News.
And wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, through her foundation, Future Assured, has donated cash and hampers to soldiers who sustained injuries in the counter-insurgency war and are on admission at the 7th Division and University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. Wife of Borno State Governor, who is the chairperson of the committee on the distribution, made a presentation. Yagumsu Bukar completes the report.
The presentation by the committee was to show love and concern to the plight of the injured soldiers and to appreciate their gallant efforts in protecting their fatherland from any form of aggression. Nana Kashim Shetima commended the bravery in the soldiers and recent success recorded in capturing Sambisa forest from the terrorists.
We're here to commiserate with gallant soldiers, to wish them all the best and let them know that the battle is a collective team. We are always with them.
On behalf of the patients, the commanding officer, 7th Division Medical Services and Hospitals, Lieutenant Colonel Undidi Onachuku, reiterated troops' commitment to wipe out Boko Haram terrorists in the northeast.
We fish them out and return the peace that has been hitherto known to be with the Borno Empire.
Similar gesture was also extended to injured soldiers and other patients at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. Chairman, Medical Advisory Committee of the hospital, Dr. Mala Bukar Sandabi, thanked the donor for the gesture. Future Assured Foundation and its committee in Borno was initiated by the wife of the President, Aisha Buhari, to reach out to the victims of insurgency and the less privileged members of the society. In Maiduguri, Yagum Subukar, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed heartfelt condolence to the government and people of Delta State on the death of Chief Francis Okpozu, a Second Republic senator and member of the Board of Trustees of the All Progressives Congress, APC. The president also commiserated with the family and friends of the late senator, whose championing of social justice in the Niger Delta during his long history of service to the people endeared him to many. As a stalwart of the APC in the South, President Buhari believes that the party greatly benefited from the octogenarian's charismatic leadership and wealth of experience as a politician. The president hopes that all who mourn Senator Okpozu will carry forward his legacy of firm dedication to the unity of Nigeria, just as he prayed God to grant the soul of the departed eternal rest. For updates on resumption and traffic situation after the Christmas holiday, let's now join Vera in our Lagos studios. Good afternoon to you.
Thank you, Hawa, and compliments of the season. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. Vehicular movements in most parts of Lagos metropolis remain low, even as work resumes after the public holiday. Musa Tolet reports that many access routes to Nigeria Ports Complex are also devoid of gridlock occasioned by commercial activities in Papa and its environs.
Work resumption after holidays usually results in increase in vehicular movements on Lagos roads. The situation is, however, not the case this time. A drive around major roads in Lagos Island and mainland shows low vehicular movement. Apapa Wharf Road, known for its incessant gridlock, is absolutely free of traffic, while other areas in Apapa experience uninterrupted traffic flow. Ijora Causeway into Ajegunle and Marine Beach are free of heavy traffic. Major bridges including 3rd Mainland, Eko, Kata, and Igomu bridges are also devoid of gridlock. To forestall the violation of speed limit specifications on the highways, officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps sensitize motorists on responsible motoring.
We are cautioning people on the road to drive safely. Journey that will take about 30 minutes, people want to do it in 5 minutes. So that will normally lead to overspeeding. And this is kind of a thing. And that is why we are talking about even the speed limiting device.
However, commercial vehicle operators in some parts of the metropolis are cashing in on the favorable traffic situation to pick passengers at undesignated areas, thereby causing needless obstruction on the roads.
Truly, this is not a bus stop, but this is where people do line up or queue for vehicle. There's only this place that you can stand, so they are catching a lot of it.
In Lagos, Musa Tolet, NTA News.
As the harmattan and its attendant dry and dusty weather set in across most parts of the country, a medical expert has advised Nigerians to take precautionary measures to avoid the common health conditions associated with the weather. Jane Ejuku reports.
The harmattan haze is here, so is the dry and dusty weather. What are the health implications of the change in weather?
Incidents of conditions such as sore throat, things such as cough, and then things such as red eyes, itchy eyes, itchy skin.
According to the medical expert, it is most ideal to avoid dusty areas and to drink a lot of water, as the tendency to lose water increases with the dry weather.
If you have a sore throat or a cough, quickly try to see your doctor who will prescribe something for you. The same information too applies to children. They should drink more water than is usual. If they have runny nose or they are sneezing or coughing, try to see a doctor as soon as possible. Don't do self-medication.
He advised increased intake of fruits and vegetables to boost the immunity.
And if you keep to these very simple instructions, the harmattan is just for a few months, it will pass. In terms of your diet, try to still take more fruits.
While adequate rest and good personal hygiene are recommended at this period, everyone is expected to wear protective clothing and prevent any form of injury to avoid excessive bleeding. In Lagos, Jane Ujuku, NTA News.
Nigeria can develop its citizenship entrepreneurial capacity through a new approach that provides funds to startups at zero interest rates. The scheme, known as angel funding, allows individuals and a group of people to put funds together with a view to financing viable startups without looking forward to earning interest. Abdullah Mohammed reports.
With reliable statistics pointing to the fact that there are more than 35 million active entrepreneurs in Nigeria, experts say developing the capacity of these entrepreneurs will put Nigeria among the most diversified economies in the world. Access to cheap funds is critical towards making this a reality, but this remains grossly inadequate. The solution, according to this entrepreneur, lies within. The wealthy in the society must develop a sense of investing in viable startups for pride.
You do have to make certain that the capital that you are investing is discretionary. In other words, if you lost it, it wouldn't be a problem. And so that way, perhaps, there's a group of 20 people, and let's say each of them puts in $5,000, the equivalent of $5,000. That's $100,000 that they could invest in, a startup. Now, what happens? So that startup can then partake in those investors' network. If they're trying to get a deal with somebody, maybe one of those 20 people knows the company that they're trying to do the deal with. And also, the investors, they have a story. They have a wonderful story. And they can tell other people, I've invested in this startup.
The entrepreneurial development expert says few individuals and groups can imbibe this approach and make it a new trend in entrepreneurial development. In Lagos, Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
You're still on to Nationwide News from Lagos, and I'll hand you over to Hawaii and Abuja for more on Nationwide News.
Many thanks, Vera. And moving on now, the National Assembly has been advised to take the welfare of Nigerians more seriously and devise policies that will take Nigeria out of recession in 2017. These were among issues discussed on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria today, as the program focused on the activities of the legislature and governance in 2016. Over now to Omojola for details.
The beginning of 2016 brought relative stability into the legislature, with lawmakers putting aside their political leanings and differences to do the work of nation building. However, the quiet was short-lived with the legislature's crisis with the budget, perhaps the major challenge to the image of the legislature in 2016, when statesmen suggested errors in the preparation of the 2016 budget by the executive and escalated into what is popular today among Nigerians as budget padding. The drama grew in greater proportions, especially in the Green Chamber, and accusations and counter-accusations of personal allotment of funds in the budget by some principal officers became a subject of public discussion. Apart from his trial with the Code of Conduct Bureau for not disclosing some of his assets, Senate President Bukola Saraki was joined by his deputy and the clerk of the Senate to answer an allegation of forgery of Senate standing rolls. The case, which lingered for a while, was later withdrawn by the federal government in what was termed respect for the rule of law. The drama of the case of the President of the Senate and his deputy perhaps led to a motion requesting that immunity be granted some principal officers in the National Assembly. Again, the controversial move generated public outcry. The legislature, apart from the primary duty of lawmaking, appropriation and oversight, have in the year under review led in finding solutions to some of the nation's challenges. The legislature engaged the private sector at a business environment roundtable to facilitate ease of doing business in Nigeria, an exercise that led to the identification of about 13 laws and bills as being critical to boosting the economy. Already, some of them have been amended or enacted. The legislature also mediated in labor crisis between the federal government and the labor unions. The legislature also set agenda in some critical national issues and took decisions that raised questions. With just a few days to 2017 and the budget proposal once again before the National Assembly, what should Nigerians expect from this important arm of government? What is the outlook for the legislature? Join us as guests discuss in-depthly.
Sorry for that mix-up. Moving on now. Security of citizens on the front burner as GOC 81 Division Nigerian Army visits Governor Amosu of Ogun State. Let's now join Kemi in our Ibadan Network Center for details. Compliments of the season to you, Kemi.
And a warm welcome to Ibadan. Workers have resumed after the holiday declared by the federal government to celebrate Christmas. Kemi Akinwande visited the federal government secretariat in Ibadan and files in the situation reports.
The various public offices came alive following the resumption of duty by workers who had proceeded on a two-day holiday to celebrate Christmas and Boxing Day. Those who spoke with NTA News expressed readiness to work after the Christmas celebration.
I celebrated my Christmas with my people at home, and I have a nice holiday. It was a good time.
They also seized the opportunity to call on government to improve on workers' welfare.
The people are back after the Christmas holiday to resume their work. And you can see that some of them, they're in their various offices. So the work has started. So the government are trying, and we only have to pray for the government, for the success of the government.
You can see our officers here just need a little improvement in the working condition.
The workers promised continued support to the success of the present administration. From Ibadan, Kemi Akinwande, NTA News.
Ogun State government has reiterated its commitment to partnering with all security agencies to ensure a robust security and safety of lives and property. The state governor, Ibikunle Amosu, unfolded these while hosting the General Officer commanding 81 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Ebenezer Oyefolu in Abeokuta. Lekwan Agmode reports.
His first visit to Ogun State as part of the tour of formations under his command. Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosu said checkmating Boko Haram in the north and other bandit groups was a good achievement, but called for proactive steps by the army to forestall the return of terrorist groups, especially those that have been sent away from the creeks and riverine areas.
We shouldn't, those criminals, they just want to continue with their those nefarious activity. But it's for us to be ready for them and make sure that we don't allow them to do that. So,
the General Officer commanding 81 Division Nigeria Army, Major General Ebenezer Oyefolu, had assured the governor that the army will leave no stone unturned to enhance peace and security.
I also want to commend the Excellency for the support given so far to the security
Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
Osun State House of Assembly has advocated restructuring of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, to enable it achieve set objectives better. The lawmaker gave the suggestion at a special sitting in honor of Ifedolapo or Ladipo, the corps member who died during the orientation course recently in Kano. Ayomiku Ajibola has the reports.
Deliberating on the sudden death of Osun State indigene Ifedolapo Amoke Oladipo, who died at the NYSC orientation camp in Kano, members of Osun State House of Assembly expressed their grievances over the way the first-class graduate of Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, died. In his submission, Honorable Boso Oyinchiloye says it was a pity that the state lost one of our finest graduates due to negligence on the part of NYSC. Honorable Folorunso Bamishayomi, on his part, urged the State House of Assembly to write official letter to the NYSC demanding for explanation on the death of the 26-year-old graduates, while Honorable Rashid Afolabi appealed to the federal government for proper funding of the scheme for it to have good medical facilities to take care of the corps members. Meanwhile, Honorable Badebo Abdullahi, House Leader Timothy Oweye, and Honorable Debo Akande have argued that the scheme needs to be restructured in order for its vision to be better realized. While reacting, the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Akintunde Adeboye, says the House will write to the state government to constitute an investigative committee that will go on fact-finding to Kano. Earlier, National Association of Nigerian Students, Osun State Chapter, made a peaceful street procession to the House of Assembly in honor of their late colleague, Ifedolapo Amoke Oladipo, requesting for the prosecution of NYSC personnel in Kano State for negligence. From Osun State House of Assembly, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
The late Minister of Commerce and Industry, Chief Bola Kufuor-Olubi, has been described as a woman of many parts who was first in many life endeavors during her lifetime. This was the remark of many who spoke with correspondent Hakim Jimo on the Life and Times of the former minister.
Born on 28 September 1936, Otumba Bola Kufuor-Olubi, people said, carved a niche for herself in the financial sector. The deceased was a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN, British Chartered Institute of Company Secretaries, 1964, Nigeria Institute of Management, 1985, British Institute of Directors, and chairman of many other companies. The Alake and paramount ruler of Yorubaland, Oba Adedotun Ademugwadebo, and the Iyalode of Yorubaland, Mrs. Alaba Lawson, said she was a woman of many firsts.
She did not only show that she was well brought up, well educated as an economist and a chartered accountant. She did.
We're sorry for that hitch in our Ibadan Network Center. Moving on now, you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And this is Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Time to take some messages now. More reports shortly.
This is a happy moment for me and for all Nigerians.
Amina Ali Nkeke, the first Chibok school girl to be rescued in the renewed onslaught against the Boko Haram insurgency.
Amina's rescue gives us new hope.
Federal government has formally received the 21 abducted Chibok girls.
These dear daughters of ours have seen the worst that the world has to offer. It is now time for them to experience the best that the world can do for them. Government will sustain the effort until all the remaining girls return safely.
Now, you can hold that dream occasion without stress.
Horizon Caterers will provide answers to all your catering questions. Exquisite hall designs, mouth-watering and nourishing local and continental cuisine, suitable for all types of ceremonies, including weddings, AGMs, business luncheon, cocktails. Name it, we can bring it. Our chefs and executive waiters give your guests that unforgettable experience in service. Our service covers all states of the Federation. Call us today to book your occasions. 0805-502-9637, 0803-450-9726, 0909-9708-111. Horizon Caterers. Experience catering beyond the horizon.
Slimming mixtures and all sorts of herbs.
Bon Dieu! Now she was dying.
Caroline, she is not dead, just comatose.
She was chopped tomatoes?
This week on your award-winning comedy series, Professor John Bull, starring Kanayo Okanayo, Mercy Johnson, Queen Wokoye, Yomi Fash Lanso, Stephen Odingbe.
So you guys like all vegetables? These are leafy vegetables. Spinach, spirulina, barley grass. It's all the great stuff.
Please watch it, because the way you're going and you're drinking these things, very soon I see person they talk. They know they see the person now only voice and sound.
Professor John Bull, this Tuesday and Friday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. on NTA Network, International, and Star Times.
Ow!
It's yummy.
Fundament.
Over and out. Welcome to the new speed of life. Improve class, have taste, and do you care about comfort? If you do, then next event, a stay away from home, a business trip, or a holiday. Visit Jade's Hotel at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Check out our services, exclusive suites, restaurant and bar, spa, and grills, and our outdoor catering services and cuisines. At Jade's, it can only be better. For bookings and reservations, visit us today at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Or visit www.jadeshotels.com. Our email address is info@jadeshotels.com. You can also call us on 291-932 or 0810-909-7956. Jades Hotels. Welcome to life.
Far away from home, 2 million people contend with life, not as we know it, but as they come to know it. The Nigerian Television Authority presents the forced journey. Pain, challenges and prospects for new beginning. Only on the network service of the NTA. Keep a date with this unique perspective.
It's that time of the year when we appreciate all those that meant so much to us. Our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, business, and above all, you, our esteemed viewer. Together, we made 2016 great. Together, we shall make 2017 even greater. That's why we say thank you. Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year.
Thanks for rejoining us. It's Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Benue Police Command praised security in 2016 parades more suspects in Makurdi. Let's now join Charles for details. Good afternoon to you, Charles.
Welcome to Makurdi. The Benue State Police Command says modern techniques employed by the Joint Security Task Force have improved security in the state. State Commissioner of Police Bashir Makama disclosed this while parading 24 suspects from whom some dangerous weapons and ammunition were recovered. Here are the details. The 24 suspects were arrested for various criminal offenses like armed robbery, unlawful possession of firearms, kidnapping, forgery, and culpable homicide. Commissioner of Police, Benue State Command Bashir Makama, who expressed the determination of the Joint Security Task Force to make the state uncomfortable for crime, said the driver of this black Toyota 4Runner Jeep was allegedly killed in Taraba State in June 2016, and the vehicle recovered on December 10, 2016, in the hands of a car dealer in Makudi.
We are working on efforts to see that we recover the corpse of the driver. The complainant, the owner of the vehicle, has showed up and has made statement to confirm that.
He said effective security networks led to the arrest of the armed robbery suspects operating in various parts of the state. The commissioner added that 2 persons who allegedly broke into a medical health store at the Aparaku Stadium, Makudi, and carted away with 86 bundles of long-lasting treated mosquito nets donated to the state by USAID are among the suspects paraded. He maintained that while investigations are ongoing on some cases, others are to be charged to court. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News. From the agricultural sector comes a report that 2 improved cowpea varieties to boost production and increase in the income of farmers in Nigeria have been presented by the University of Agriculture, Makudi. Blessing Omeche Ebute reports that the 2 varieties of cowpea were developed by a group of scientists led by Dr. Lucky Omogui.
According to statistics provided by the Food and Agricultural Organization, Nigeria has the largest cowpea production output in the world, with about 48% of the global cowpea production. Despite this figure, there is still insufficient supply of the product globally. The presentation of new cowpea varieties by the University of Agriculture Makudi is a major breakthrough geared towards improving food security in the country.
The viability of this major breakthrough by UAM scientists is seen as a brilliant feat that is very rare in Nigerian universities.
Lead researcher Dr. Lucky Omoigu says the 2 improved varieties are to meet the yearnings of farmers who called for seeds with high yielding capacity and early maturity.
Aside from increasing the cowpea yield, our major thrust was also to incorporate the striga gene and the electoral gene into susceptible cowpea varieties.
The 2 improved cowpea varieties were officially unveiled by the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Emmanuel Kucha, who in turn presented it to the Benue State Government. Program Manager, Benue Agricultural and Rural Development Authority, James K., on behalf of the Benue State Commissioner for Agriculture, commended the university for positive researches that yield results for the Benue man. The 2 improved cowpea seeds, Fuan 1 and Fuan 2, have a maturity period of 60 to 70 days, respectively. In Makudi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
Still on agriculture, Taraba State Government says it is determined to support the federal government's large-scale production of rice for safe food security. Governor Darius Dixon Ishaku stated this when he inspected abandoned machines and structures for the establishment of one of the biggest rice production and processing ventures in West Africa, situated in Gasso local government area. Joseph Osen reports that the industry was to commence production in 2014, but was abandoned due to communal crisis.
Dominion Farms in Gasso local government of Taraba State was projected to be one of the biggest rice production farms in Nigeria, with an acquired cultivated land of 30,000 hectares and to be supported by outgrowers. The farm is expected to have a 30,000 metric tons capacity rice milling factory, silos, water plant, and a workshop for the maintenance of production machines. The state government, in partnership with a foreign investor, has secured the land by 2014, and construction work on the rice milling factory and other structures were ongoing before communal crisis within the host community broke out, forcing the investor to flee and abandon the area. Governor Darius Dixon Ishaku visited the site and inspected some of the equipment and structures abandoned.
I assured the general that the best I can do is to make sure that I secure the site, I get the farmlands ready, and let on their own part sort out the legal implications.
But if the state and country must attain rice production sufficiency, analysts emphasize they must ensure an enabling ground for production to take place. From Gassel, Joseph Uten, NTA News.
That report rounds off our package from Makudi. Hawa is back to you.
Many thanks, Charles. As work and business resume after the long Christmas holiday, Aliu Tukur was out in the metropolis of the Federal Capital Territory for an update on the traffic situation.
Abuja roads are usually busy on a normal work day, especially by this time when most offices are on break and some schools have closed for the day. With the long Christmas holiday over, it is expected that traffic within the metropolis to be high, since most offices and businesses have resumed. But the traffic is not of a typical day in Abuja.
It's free, everywhere is free. It's moving, yes.
What do you think maybe?
You know, some people travel, then some people they are indoor. They refuse to come out because of the situation that we have now in Nigeria. We don't have much money. Some people, they didn't pay them salary.
The traffic is light. Yeah, I think people are not yet back from the holidays. Yeah.
People have traveled now. People have traveled out of town, and you know this is a festive period. People are still on break till after New Year. Okay. Motorists and other road users are only stopping in compliance to traffic lights directives. In some areas where the traffic lights are not functioning, drivers are at their discretion to apply the brakes in order to avoid accident. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
The need for high-level diplomacy to be adopted in resolving the political crisis in the Gambia and the Democratic Republic of Congo has been emphasized. Guest on NTA's Current Affairs program, Tuesday Live, said this while deliberating on political developments in the region. Joseph Johnson completes the report.
The unsettling political developments in the Gambia following the successfully conducted elections of December 1, the graceful concession of defeat by President Jammeh on December 2, and the subsequent reversal of that decision on December 9 have been widely criticized across borders, a situation that momentarily threatens the peace and harmony for which the region is renowned. These, coupled with the political power struggles and violent unrest in DR Congo, engaged the thoughts of panelists on Tuesday Live who sued to nip the impending crisis in Africa.
He believes he's the strong man of Gambia, and he cannot defy the whole ECOWAS sub-region because we have a protocol for intervention.
It's very important that the leaders, in their desire to intervene in crisis situations such as this, must also be diplomatic as far as the method that they deploy is concerned.
Now, our own Muhammadu Buhari is the head of the mediating team, all right, collaborating with Ghana. All he needs to do in this case is never to take to the sermon of war first.
Although divergent views on approaches to dealing with the matter ensued, the guests were, however, unanimous on the dire need for Africans to sustain the relevance of democracy and uphold their states' constitutions.
If there's no democracy, you allow people like Jammeh to thrive. The Gambian people have said, we're okay. The world should help the Gambian people to get him off their neck.
With Nigeria's president and indeed the African continent, as well as international bodies concerned over the deteriorating political and security climate in the Gambia and the DRC, it is hoped that the narratives will change without beating the gong of war. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Many thanks to you, Joseph. Senate Committee on Works inspects Enugu-Onitsha Expressway. Beauty in Enugu will now give us details of the inspection. It's good to see you, Yoran.
And compliments of the season, however. The Chairman Senate Committee on Works, Senator Kabiru Gaya, says the National Assembly will probe contractors who fail in meeting the terms of agreement in the construction of the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway awarded in 2009. Amaka Owo reports that he made the statement during an inspection tour of the road by a team of lawmakers.
By the Senate Committee on Works is to assess the level of work done on these roads, which road users say has been a nightmare to them over the years. The lawmakers also met contractors handling the project at various sites. Unhappy with the level of work done so far on the 32-kilometer stretch of Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, leader of the team asked why the road was still in that state, despite the advancement of 1 billion naira and 2 billion naira certified payments made by the federal government. They expressed worry in the fact that only 5-kilometer stretch of the road have so far been rehabilitated without maintenance.
This is like a just the road is cut off completely. Nobody is using this road. And you're supposed to maintain the road. It's not there.
The lawmakers also met another contractor handling 52-kilometer stretch at the cost of 24 billion naira. They gave a proper description of the contract plan, which began 6 months ago. The lawmakers also expressed satisfaction with the work done so far. The Chairman, Senate Committee on Works and President Interparliamentary Unions berated the fact that the second Niger Bridge is still left undone. He said with huge monies allocated to works and infrastructure in the 2016 and 2017 budgets, the federal government is set to address challenges slowing down the completion of the projects. He said defaulting contractors will be investigated by the anti-graft agency EFCC.
We were also not happy on the second Niger Bridge. Mr. President Muhammad Buhari is very much concerned on that project. In this 16th budget, he put 13 billion naira on the project. I knew the contractor could not assess the project because they have not brought in their own counterpart funding.
The committee members paid a courtesy visit to the Enugu State Governor, Enugu Amaka Owo, NTA News.
Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi has presented an estimated budget of 106 billion naira for the 2017 fiscal year. The budget-tagged budget of economic recovery and inclusive development, the governor said, is to deepen development and enhance the quality of lives of the citizens of the state. Ijoma Agweke has that report.
Attention will be paid on completion of all the 2016 ongoing projects in the state. The governor assured that the present administration is expanding the revenue base of the state to actualize the target of 2 billion naira monthly. The budget size, which has the sum of 55.197 billion naira for current expenditure and 50.521 billion naira for capital expenditure, is expected to ensure better urban and inter-rural infrastructure, health facilities, affordable housing, and transportation network.
The ongoing free education from primary to junior secondary school 3 will be sustained. The state has already embarked on the renovation of over 276 schools and the recruitment process of 2,000 teachers to improve the quality of education as well as enhance the student-teacher ratio is almost completed.
Governor Ugwuanyi, while appreciating the people of the state for their support, maintained that the present administration made efforts to impact positively on job creation through small and medium enterprise, agriculture, road infrastructure, and education, despite the harsh economic situation. The Speaker, Enugu State House of Assembly, Chief Edward Obosi, commended the commitment of the governor towards building a better Enugu State through infrastructure and human development. He assured the governor that the House will ensure a speedy passage of the budget. In Enugu, Ijoma Agweke, NTA News.
The Enugu State House of Assembly has confirmed the appointment of Justice Ngozi Emehelu as the Chief Judge of Enugu State. Susan Eze will complete that report.
Justice Ngozi Priscilla Emehelu's appointment as the Chief Judge of Enugu State by the Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, following her recommendation by the National Judicial Council, was confirmed by the State House of Assembly.
The Honorable House will now confirm the appointment of Honorable Joseph Christian Gozemel as the Chief Judge of Enugu State. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Justice Emehelo graduated from the Nigerian Law School in 1981. Climbing through her career, she served in various capacities, including as chairman, election petition tribunals at various times. Before her confirmation, she was the acting chief judge of the state for about 2 months, following the compulsory retirement of her predecessor. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
As that is our contribution, Hawa, it's back to you for the completion of Nationwide.
Many thanks, Beauty. And on the foreign scene, faulty wing flaps responsible for the Russian military plane crash, main flight recorder reveals. And Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe visits United States naval base at Pearl Harbor to offer condolences to the victims of his country's attack on the base 75 years after. Plus, police authority says kidnapping drops by 92% since 2000 in Colombia, which was world's kidnapping hotspot for years. For more reports, let's join Runke Kolawole on Global Tidbits.
Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has signed a new law to further control the media and regulate a new media council. The law also empowers the council to fine or suspend publications and broadcasters and permit or revoke foreign media operations in the country. Latest development on the civil war in Syria says Turkey and Russia have agreed on the terms of a proposed ceasefire in Syria, where the two countries back opposing sides to the civil war. Report says already the two states are working to ensure commencement of ceasefire after midnight. Meanwhile, the United States has described as ludicrous a claim by Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan that it supports the so-called Islamic State in Syria. Erdogan had earlier said he has evidences to support his claim. Elsewhere, an Israeli committee has postponed a vote to authorize construction of about 500 new homes in Jewish settlement in occupied East Jerusalem, following a request by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office. The UN Security Council last Friday passed a resolution that the settlement is against international law. For Global Tidbits, Runke Kolawole, NTA News.
Sports now. Nigerian army leadership pledges more support to sports as Russian officials admit to doping program. Let's now join Amanzi Marcus for more on Sports Update.